Good afternoon. Welcome to our ChildPlus DRDP assessment entering observation. Hope you all had a good lunch because we are bringing you some great dessert. The agenda is as follows. We're going to learn how to enter observation, adding attachments, editing, viewing observation, viewing portfolios, ChildPlus University, and on your screen in your toolbar somewhere, you should see a little box with the letter Q in it. In that box, my Head Start participant, you're able to type in your question. And at the end of the webinar, we will go into the Q&As. At the end, we will go into the Q&As and answer the questions. Okay, 3 weeks ago, we talked about the DRDP setup. And in part of the setup, we were showing you how to set it up in order for your teachers or your education manager to have access to the DRDP, which in a mobile. So here I have my setup under my security and my security settings under the general tab. Now this will be set up by, again, your IT or your system admin or your ChildPlus admin. So you want to make sure this box is checked to allow users to access ChildPlus using a web browser. So using a web browser, this is the link that you want to add to that browser, or you also, and you want to make a shortcut of this link. That way they will not have to continue to come here to access the browser and whatever device you're using. You may also copy it to the clipboard and then paste it and send it to your staff. But however, this is where they will start.
As my colleague said, Ms. Clintona, yes, this is browser-based, guys. It is not an app, okay? So it is browser-based. It is not an app. ChildPlus Mobile is browser-based, so you can use it on your stationary devices, which I'm using today, my laptop or your desktop. You can also use it on your mobile devices. So your Androids, your smartphones, your tablets, your Apple products, such as your iPads and your iPhones. So as you see, the login page looks very similar to the ChildPlus desktop login, right? So again, all in one system, meaning you still have the same unique credentials to log in. No two different softwares, no two different logins, all in one. So I put in my credentials. I'm going to sign in. And once I do, as you see, it looks very similar to the desktop. You have your participants to the left. And the difference is you don't have all your services tabs that go across the top. You have your one drop-down service tab, okay? So when I select the services tab and it drops down, it gives me some options to choose from. I can choose the DRDP assessment, which we will be going into in a few seconds, or I can choose reports. All right, so we're going to go into the DRDP assessment. And once I do, my friends, it takes me to the Add Observations homepage. So this is where you will actually begin, my teachers, to add in your observations or enter your observations or anecdotal notes. Now, my screen, because I am on a stationary device, so remember, laptop, desktop, your screen will look exactly like mine. You will have the same 4 functions. However, my Android users, this actual function down here or this attachment type will actually say gallery on your device. And for my Apple product users, so my iPhone users and my iPad users, this would actually say camera roll. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to select, I'm going to select photo because I want you to see another subtle difference. So as you see, when I select photo, because I am on a stationary device, again, it brings up photos that I have saved on my system. So that's another difference that will be between the stationary and your mobile devices, okay? Now, if you're on a mobile device, then you will actually be able to capture a picture right then and there or take a video. So we're going to go into note. And so here I'm actually going to type in my note from my observation for today. I'm in class. I see some, or outdoors, I see some great engagement. So I want to capture that. Let me also then say that on the mobile device, you can actually do talk to text, and Jose will show you that as well. So our demo child's name is Claude today, and Claude was playing with Sammy. He was playing with Rena, and he was playing with Virginia today. And what they were doing was they were running on the playground. All right, so there's my note. I'm going to select save. And when I do, you see my observation box appears for today. Now, if I was logging in with my unique login credentials, my name will actually populate here. Another great feature about the DRDP. So when you log in with your unique login credentials, the teacher's name or whomever is logging in and taking that observation, their name will actually appear in this box. And the classroom they're associated with will actually appear up here, okay? So for today, because I'm in demo mode, it doesn't recognize me as being a unique login, so I'm going to be Miss Josephine for today, all right? So there's my note, it's already in there. I'm now going to select the measures. So I'm gonna go right here to this little arrow, I'm gonna select measures, and I'm gonna select change. And look at there, all of my domains appear. And now I'm able to go in and select by clicking arrows to the actual domain area that I need. So we're gonna go into physical development and we're gonna choose measure 2 and measure 9. Once I do that, I'm gonna select okay. There are my measures. Now I need to enter the children related to my observation note, right? All right, so you see this little hourglass right here? I'm going to select that, and there is my classroom roster. So I need to find the children associated with my note. There's Claude, there's Sammy, there's Virginia, and there is Rena. I'm going to select okay. There are my children. There's my note. However, wait a minute. I had a picture that I had saved of that actual event. So I'm going to go right here where it says add attachment. And when I do, you see it gives me those same options that it did on the add observation homepage. I'm going to select photo because I have a photo. As you see, it brings up my picture file folder. I'm going to grab my picture. I'm going to select open, and there it is. So I've added my attachment. My note is here. I have my associated measures. I'm Miss Josephine in classroom A, and today is May 20th, 2020. I am done. However, let me quickly show you this. If I wanted to add a quick note, if I select that little lightning bolt, here is where you can add quick notes. And so if you wanted to add a quick note, this is how you would do that. You would select add, you would put in what you want to add. So when I type SG, it's going to replace it with small group. Okay, and I'm going to select save. When I do, you see it right there. So anytime I type the 2 letters SG in any of my notes, it's automatically going to put in insert small group. Okay, all right. So I'm going to close out of there. I'm going to cancel out of there. I'm going to save my note. And it takes me back to the Add Observations homepage. So, but let's just say we're done. We're done taking our notes for today. So we're going to go in and I'm going to edit and view my observation. I want to look at it, okay? So I'm going to select the Add Observations drop down. And as you see, that's where I find my edit and view observations. I'm going to go here. And there's the note I just entered. Another great feature. So whenever you add an observation, the most current observation populates at the top and all your subsequent observations fall below it, okay? Now, You can also filter your observations. So if you want to filter it based on the location, if you want to do a date range, if you want to filter based on measures, the observer, or the type, then you can do so. You can apply those filters here. If you want to edit your observations, so let's just say I typed in that they were running on a playground, but I failed to mention that they were playing with a ball. So I'm going to go here and edit my observation. And you see right there where it says add notes, I'm going to select add notes. And then I'm going to put the children were also kicking a ball. Okay. Now I'm going to select OK. And there is the edit that I made. It did not change my date. However, it did date it and timestamp it to let me know that was an edit that was made. Okay, so another great feature. Again, if you want to add additional attachments, remember on your stationary device, your laptop, your desktop, you will have to add those attachments from the actual photos or videos or files that you have saved on your device. All right, so we're finished editing our observation. I'm going to select save, and there it is. There is the edit I just made. It automatically adjusts and it has my information in there. Also, let me tell you, this is a compilation of all your observations for all the children. So that's why you can apply filters. You may want to look at observations during a certain time frame. Or for my administrators, my education administrators, you may want to go in and look at observations for a certain teacher. So you're able to do that, okay? So now that we've edited and reviewed our observations, now we're going to go back up here to the drop down, and I'm going to select portfolios and ratings, because now I want to individually look at Claude, because Claude is our chosen child. And as you see, it takes me back out to the select participant screen. But I want to specifically look at Claude's portfolio. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to select Claude. And as you see, Claude's rating comes up that has not started for the assessment period. Now, this information right here, his profile information, can you get excited about this all in one system? This is information that comes straight from your ChildPlus desktop. Yes. So no additional information having to be entered. Once you enter it into ChildPlus desktop, and you save it, it syncs with ChildPlus mobile. So when you log in, any modifications that you've made in desktop in regards to moving children, in regards to moving teachers around, those modifications will update and then be made in desktop. Oh, I know you are excited because I'm excited for you. All right, so now we're going to look at Claude's portfolio. We're going to go right here where you see ratings. I'm going to select the little arrow drop down, and when I do, I'm going to select Claude's portfolio. And there is the observation I just entered. There is the edit that I made. If I need to make additional edits, I can go here and do so. I can add another observation if I would like. And if I did, as you see, Claude name automatically appears. That's because we're in his portfolio. So whichever child's portfolio that you're in and you're adding an observation, their name will automatically populate. And you can add additional children from the little hourglass right here, okay? Now, these three little dots right here, or what I consider my more information, if I click that, it just allows you to apply a filter. So if you wanted to apply a filter to the portfolio observations, then you would be able to do that as well. So now that I've shown you how to enter observations, how to filter observations, and add attachments, view the portfolio on your stationary devices, I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague, Jose, who's now going to show you how to do that from your mobile device. Jose?
Just to give you a heads up on this, This will work on your Chrome or your Safari as a browser base. And all we have to do is once we have the URL, we can just copy that in here. As you can see right there, I'm just going to paste it. And look at this, how it turns out right there. And you're going to be able to see that information for your username and password. So the great thing, as we mentioned before, one username, one password. Maybe you don't have to use as many stickies as before because you only have to remember that once. Once we have our username and password in there, now we're ready to sign in. Once we're ready to sign in, this is the way it's going to look. So a lot of it, as you can see right there, is actually mirroring what Miss Elisha went over. You can see the children, select the participant on the left-hand side. And again, look at that services right there. I'm going to click on that and it drops down. You have your DRDP assessment, your report, and your services. So now we're going to do this again, DRDP assessment. We're going to click on this right here. And it's going to open up. And as you can see on your left upper side, you have the DRDP assessment, add observation, and of course, on the middle of your screen, you're going to have note, below there, photo, below that, video, and of course, because I'm using an Android device, it says gallery. Now, I'm going to click on note right here, and notice right there, I can either put SG, enter that. Whoop, I put another one in there. So SG, and I can put other words in there. I can put the, right, type it all out. However, you can also do another feature. If you look at the bottom of the screen right there where it says English on that bar, next to it, it has a microphone. If I click on that microphone, I can now do voice to text. This is really nice because I don't have to be typing everything in there. I can just say it and it'll put my text in that little box. Now, because I'm connected to Ring Central, the way it's set up, it will not let me do that, but on your own device, it will let you do that. So it's going to save teachers from entering that information and going back at the end of the day and doing that. They can do that right there and then. Another feature, as Miss Elisha mentioned about the photo, I'm going to click on photo right there. As I click it, and then notice at the very top, it has retry or OK. Retry on your left-hand side, OK on your right. I'm going to click OK. When I click OK, what it's going to do, it's going to put that picture in that observation right there. So look at that. Right down the very bottom, as you can see it right there. Let me go up. And you have your date. You have your observer on that left-hand side. Then on your right-hand side, you have the classroom and measures. And of course, I can do that all right there. So if I wanted to do measures, I can do it all right there. And also, I can choose my children. And then, of course, I can also put my note. I didn't forget my observer. I just did not put that in there, but whoever's doing the observation, their name will appear automatically in there. And then I'm going to click Notes. And then I'm going to click Voice to Text, put in my information in there. We're done, and that's it. So right there with your text, with your mobile, you can enter your measurements. You can enter your children, and you can take a photo and update it right there and then. So if the teachers do that right there, they don't have to go back at the end of the day with so much that they have to do. They can skip that step because they're doing it right there. So now we're going to go up to add an observation so we can take a look at that. And again, it looks the same as Miss Elisha went over. Add observation, edit, view observation, portfolio, and rating. Let's take a look at that edit and view observation. So right here, what we can see is the information. On your left upper, you can see the filter. Then on your right hand, you can see edit. But then we have the observation Miss Elisha did today right there. All there from your mobile device, depending on your policies and procedures also, depends on the device you're going to be able to use. And of course, I'm going to click edit on that green little button, and then this one shows up and I can enter more information in there. Once I'm done looking at that information, I can go back and click my edit and view observation, and this time I'm going to go to my portfolio and rating. And before we enter any information in there, of course, we need to choose our child. And of course, we're going to see Claude, and I'm going to click on Claude. And then this opens up right here. Of course, we haven't done the measure right there, but I'm going to click on rating, and it's going to give me portfolio and rating. All I really want to look at is my portfolio, because that's what it means. It has all the observations for the child right there. So you can see Miss Elisha added that information today. I can see what they added, or a teacher added 6 days ago, and so forth. And of course, I can edit my observation or add another observation right there if I have the observation. So really great information that we have in here, the way we can do it. So it just mirrors, but I just want to reiterate the 2 advantages that teachers are going to have when they use their mobile device is, 1, voice to text. Saves you a lot from just typing all the information in. Number 2, you're going to have your picture taken there and then saving them from going back later on or during the week. Now, something I don't want to forget and give you a tip is also this. See up here where we have the web path, and then next to it there's a star, and then there's an arrow, and right there is 3 dots. We're going to click on that because what we also want to do is make it easier for the teachers or whoever's doing an observation, being able not to go in there and add the URL to the web path every time they go in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to save this to our screen. So I'm going to click on that right there, and we're going to go the way down where it says add to home screen. We're going to click on that. Once we click on that, see what it opens. It said ChildPlus, but I'm going to go another step because I want to make sure that I know that it is deferred to the DRDP. Right there, I add it. Now I'm going to close this out right there, and I'm going to go over here where it's put right there, and see that right there on your upper left corner, ChildPlus DRDP. So now the teacher doesn't have to start remembering and putting all those sticky notes right there. See, they only have to do is double click that, enter it, they're done. So really great system that we have, and you can do it on your stationary mobile devices. And that's what I have all for you, ladies and gents.